welcome back to our channel. So in this video, we want to share with you the story of how I proposed to Michelle and also your feelings about it.
Okay.
So I know this is a very news-like setup, but we are staying home with quarantine. So welcome to the 10 o'clock news.
Go back to you, James.
So yeah, anyway, we want to share with you how I proposed. And it's a fun story because it's not your usual story of how somebody proposes. Because it all started on New Year's Eve morning. I woke up after having a dream of all things, that Michelle had died, right?
What?
Which is not great.
Oh, I remember you kind of told me about it. Kind of, but I don't remember.
I woke up and I was just like, don't leave me! So then I thought, you know what, if I love somebody that much to the point at which if they died, even if it was a dream, that my entire life would be over with, why not marry them? Why not put a ring on it, right?
So thanks to the dream,
Thanks,
right?
dream. So I think that was a little bit of fate coming in there, and I think like everything happens for a reason, and I think that was the trigger point that got me to think, yeah, I mean, we should get married. But we were discussing it a lot before then, weren't we? Like,
I was discussing
you
it
were
a lot.
trolling me for ages, like, when are you gonna propose?
No, I never said that. I was just like, oh, look at this ring, and like,
Oh, the ring's nice.
yeah, and I was like making the jokes about like my hand being empty and tagging him in like cute proposals, you know, kind of like
Yeah.
normal pushing.
Just troubling me about getting married, and I was like, oh, just leave me alone, it's not going to be a surprise if you keep pestering me. But eventually, anyway, I had the dream New Year's Eve morning. I woke up and thought, yeah, I want to marry this girl, but when can I do it? And I thought, why not New Year's Eve, like at midnight, where it can just be at the start of a new year, 2020, new year, new me, everything's going to be great, which we didn't really know at the time there was going to be a coronavirus, but we had good intentions, right? So I got dressed and I said to Michelle, oh, I need to go to GNC to get some protein powder, some supplements and some other stuff as well. Little did she know, I was going to buy her an engagement ring.
But wait, let me react this because it's really funny.
Okay.
So he was here, and I was on the couch, and he was like, "Babe, I don't have more powder. This is empty. Babe, it's empty." So I'm going to
really
obvious that it was empty, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to get some." And I was like, what's wrong
I wasn't
with him?
shaking it that much.
Yeah, you were.
Unlike
you
the
were
previous video where I made the Shake It remix about halfway through, so you know
No,
where to
yeah,
go.
but you were like moving it and make it obvious like it was like empty. And I was like, okay, like sure. And then he told me that he was going to go to this place that is kind of like 25 minutes away or like 20 minutes away. And I did wonder like why he's going like that far. But
I could have just walked down the road and gone to the one there.
But I was so busy that day because it was going to be the first time that I was going to be cooking for us and for my parents, like a New Year's Eve meal, so like a whole thing. So I was cleaning the house like crazy and getting everything ready. So it didn't like I didn't think.
So I made the journey and I was looking at all the beautiful engagement rings in the window and I thought, that's the one. And while I was doing this, I was super nervous because being in Mexico City, well, two reasons actually. The first one being in Mexico City, everyone speaks Spanish, barely anybody speaks English. And you say, hablas inglés? And they're like, nope, well, I don't speak English, but in Spanish. So you're like, oh, okay then. So I was Spanglishing my way through the conversation. And I just found the perfect one, and I was like, that's it. And I never get nervous for anything, as you know, like, I will just talk to anybody, I record my own business videos and all kinds of stuff, like, I'll just do anything. But this time, I was super nervous.
Really?
Yeah, I was like,
Really?
I hope she likes it, and I hope she says yes, were my two thoughts, because,
Really,
like...
you thought that, like, wait, I really want to ask this.
Okay.
Is it really like you thought she might have said no?
I thought you might have been trolling in like a funny kind of way, but then also semi-serious. So I didn't know whether you were fully committed, serious, kind of to getting married. So Anyway.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Yeah. So I got back home and I stuffed the thing down my pants and was like waddling into the living room, trying not to be too obvious. Put my protein powder down and like was going to show it to her, but she was in the shower, so it didn't matter anyway. And I quickly hid the ring.
Good
I think
luck.
it was in one of those cupboards actually, to begin with, and I moved it around just so you wouldn't notice it throughout the course of the day. So your parents got here at what, like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. You were busy cooking.
I was
And
going crazy, like
Just-
crazy.
crazy housewife mode.
I was
Which
like
was really appreciated.
yelling at the lomo. How do you say lomo in English?
Like, is it pork or beef? Just a big chunk of beef? Big chunk of meat, anyway.
Yeah, I was yelling at the oven, I was yelling at the lomo, I was yelling at everybody who was trying to help me because I wanted to do it all by myself. Because I'm a little bit competitive, so
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So
You wanted it to be perfect, didn't you, for your
I
family?
did,
So.
yeah.
And at that point, I went over to Michelle's dad, who was sitting over there on the good old table. And I kind of went to him, like, on Google Translate, of course, really sneakily and conspicuously. Like, it read something like, try not to be too obvious, but tonight I'm going to ask Michelle to marry me. I would like to have your blessing,
oh,
right, before I do so. And he was reading it slowly, and like as he started to read through top to bottom, I could see him getting more and more teary and emotional, and it was so cute. And he was like, yes, yes, and then he just hugged me like this.
My
like
dad
a bear hug.
barely cries. Like that's the thing, my dad barely cries, so
Yeah. So he said yes, and then Michelle's mum was like, what's going on? Being super obvious. And then I was like, and she was sitting here where I'm sat now, actually. I came over to her on this side and was like, showing the same message, and she was reading it out loud. Like, try not to be super obvious. And she was
and
reading
she
it out
read
loud.
the first line, and I heard something. I didn't
Yeah.
hear the whole thing, but I did turn, and I was like, "What?" And then James saw that I was looking at my mom holding his phone, and he said like, "Oh, I'm showing the photos of."
Of Sasha, my
Sasha.
parents' dog.
Oh,
Just to
and I was-
cover it up, I was like,
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So I kept like cooking.
and then you were too busy cooking anyway.
Yeah.
But then she sort of quietened down and read the rest, and then she started crying as well and was like, yes, yes. And then
But she started crying
like
a
really
lot.
badly, and I was like, try not to make it
Like-
obvious.
A lot. So I was like, I turned around and I was like,
What's going on? Why are they both crying?
no, I didn't see my dad. My dad was like chill. He was like, but my mom was here like crying and like, and I was like, what the hell? So I was like, are you okay? Like, and she said like, it's just that I'm so happy to like watching you cook. And I was like,
Like a proper housewife.
yeah, and I was like,
But you know, we cook together all the time.
yeah.
so.
I was like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah.
and for me it was like, sure. Like I thought my mom lost her mind there,
Yeah.
but it was
And then,
funny.
at that point, it all kind of died down, and then they were just kind of looking at me the whole night, like, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? And about 20 seconds before the countdown of like midnight, I ran into the bedroom, said, I need to go to the bathroom. And then I grabbed the ring out of the drawer, put it underneath the pillow there. And then we were like, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and you know, Happy New Year.
And
We
the
hugged each other.
photos.
We hugged each other, and we had some photos together. And then at that point, I was super shaky, like, and then
But you told me that I grabbed the.
yeah, you grabbed a pillow from the couch,
Uh-huh.
which was like right next to where the ring was, and I was like, please God, don't let her grab that pillow. And luckily, it was the one
Because
next
I was
to it.
trying to put the timer on my phone, so
Yeah.
I grabbed one pillow to put it there, and I did notice that James was like, and I was like, I thought he didn't want to kind of like take photos like
Yeah.
at that moment,
Yeah, but
so I was like,
oh. I grabbed the ring and I went over to her, and in my mind I had this huge spiel, this huge speech of everything I wanted to say to her, like how happy she makes me, how waking up next to you every morning is just incredible and like the best thing ever in life, and I want that to continue for the rest of our lives and all this stuff, right? But then it just came out as like a driveling mess because I was so emotional and shaky and nervous at this whole thing. And I wanted to do it that night as well because Michelle's parents were there, so I thought it would be quite nice for them to be involved in the whole thing as well. Just for it to be a family occasion, and also needed to ask their permission as well to be a gentleman. So at this point, it was kind of like, Michelle, I love you so much. Will you marry me? Actually, let's put the video up that my dad, your dad, my father-in-law now, to be, recorded on his what seems to be a potato. The quality's so bad, but trust me, it's a good watch.
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh my god, it's so cute. It will fit.
I think it's
I think you put it on. Oh,
It fits, but I think we can get them resized.
it's okay.
A ver, bueno, tradicionalmente se dice, a ver, deja ver el anillo, a ver. ¡Wow! ¡Ay, qué bonito está! A ver, el tuyo, yo.
Yes, I love it. It was a really happy moment for me because I like old-fashioned ways. So I really like the proposal and a beautiful wedding and stuff like that. So I was like, oh my god, this is actually happening to me. And with I have this guy, sometimes I look at him and I feel like,
Jesus, what a dickhead.
no, you can't say that.
Okay.
No, I look at him and I'm like, really, he's with me. I'm going to cry now.
Thank you.
So at that moment I was like, oh my god, this is really happening.
Mm-hmm. And also I wanted to do it over there because it's a place where we live here, so we can just remember the proposal and the event every day. Whereas if we were to do it somewhere random, yes, it's in your memories, but you get to experience it all the time, and it's a place that means a lot to us. It's our first place together. So we're always going to remember this place as the place where I proposed and where we started our relationship. Really.
Yeah, and I told him I don't want you to do it in a restaurant or a flash mob or whatever that thing is called, or
jumping out of an airplane.
Oh my god, something like that.
Yeah.
I just or put a trail of rose petals and candles.
Nothing
and
super elaborate. Basically.
No, I think it was really perfect in that way. Really special.
Yeah, I think it was as well. So, how did you feel about the whole thing afterwards?
I was in shock.
Yeah.
I was in shock. Really, I was I spent I don't know how many minutes looking there's a ring
Looking
there.
at the ring, show the ring. So, I've gone for quite a simple design, but yeah, that's mine. I don't know if it's going to be in focus because it always focuses on our faces, but yeah, that's the ring.
Yeah. The only thing is that I have tiny fingers, so it was a little bit
loose
big.
to begin with, so we had to get them resized, but
and I was without my ring for
a
3
few
days?
Yeah.
Something
And
like that.
You felt naked, didn't you, without the ring at that point? Because you've been wearing it, and I had as well.
Yeah,
before,
and it was this kind of unconscious.
There's unconscious.
Movement of my hand.
Yeah.
All the time I was moving this hand, for everything.
Yeah. So, any advice for people who are thinking about getting engaged?
Sometimes you just need to do it when you want to do it.
Yeah.
You don't.
I think you'll know when the right moment is. For me, at least, anyway. When I woke up after that dream, I just felt like that's a sign. But also, I just knew in myself that it needed to happen, and that was what I was supposed to do. Kind of like John Locke off Lost. But I just felt like that needed to happen, right? And it felt right for me. And I think if you're thinking of proposing and it doesn't feel right to you yet, don't rush it, because then you're just going to ruin the whole moment. Instead, just like take your time and do it when it's right for both of you. You know?
And of course, there's nothing wrong with like big proposals and like romantic stuff, but also there's nothing wrong with like something simple, like something intimate, like only two people. Like it's the thing and the thought that it counts.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's if the person that you are with is the right person, it doesn't matter how you do it or when you do it. It's always going to be the perfect moment.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So thanks, Michelle. That's the 10 o'clock news.
You're welcome.
So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed that video. If you did like it, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. And also hit the thumbs up button if you like the video as well, just to let YouTube know that what we're doing is pretty good if you enjoyed it. So yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Have a great rest of the day. Speak soon.
Adios.
Bye.